And let's get started with just thanks for being here. And who are you guys? Where are you located? Like I don't know if you want to give the name of your business or not, but
Yeah.
yeah, how
Yes.
just introduce yourselves.
Yeah. So I'm Sean and this is Blaine and we both live in Austin, Texas. But we're doing this in Columbus, Ohio, which is funny. But that's where I'm from and that's kind of like why we picked that location because I have bought and sold real estate there for the past 3 years and I've had like a flipping and wholesaling business there. So yeah, I figured that was like the best place to start. So
That is
and
awesome.
then
So you're doing this virtually.
yes, sir.
Yeah, fully remote, man. Then on my side, obviously live in Austin. We're doing this fully remote in Ohio, and I come from substance abuse and mental health, and so I know these people, man. These are like my people, and so it's been this like partnership.
Where were you before you learned about sober living? What were you doing? You mentioned wholesaling and investing. So is that like kind of all you knew at the time?
Yeah, so I was just doing that and making good money and stuff, but kind of just had this inkling in the back of my head, kind of, I think from the Lord probably just like, hey, like I don't know, I feel like with the basically like flexibility I have with owning my own business, like I can kind of do anything I want and kind of like mix and match however I want in terms of like providing value and stuff. So if I'm going to work like 40 to 60 hours a week, like try to find something that can knock two birds out with one stone, right? So like providing for yourself, providing for your future family, but also making like an eternal impact, also providing a ton of value to whatever clients or residents you're working with. So that was kind of brewing in my head. And then I moved to Austin and met Blaine, and then you can kind of share, I guess, how you got into it. And then that's how it kind of combined.
I mean, honestly, it's always been my dream to run my own facility, like helping clients coming out of addiction and seeing them where I was 7 years ago and watching them get to where I am now. And so, anyways, met Shawn, just became homies. And one day I was chatting it up about a sober living. And I was like, man, have you ever thought about this? And honestly, I wasn't even asking him. Like, I wasn't like, "Oh, you should do this." I was like, "Oh, dude, like it's my dream to own a sober living." Like I want to help clients. I want to do these things. And anyways, it was like 3 days later.
Well, yeah, I feel like I would say like
Took a
yeah,
few months.
yeah. I like researched it and stuff, and the first guy I found was you.
Yeah.
And I watched like a podcast that you had, and I was like, it sounds great in terms of like impact and stuff like that. But you also want to be logical. You want to make sure it makes sense, business wise and for the long run. And I had heard of people doing it and stuff, but looked it up and saw you and you were running like a pretty tight ship, tight operation, and giving clients a lot of value. And these clients, were obviously like thriving in your guys' homes. One thing I hear is about like the women's house all the time, like that like structure is just so hard to crack, and we're learning that I mean we haven't tried it yet, but we're learning that more and more as we go. So just stuff like that, and like listening to your heart too, and like where you were actually coming from too. I was like, this guy's got it down for sure. We got to get in touch with this guy ASAP. So, but yeah, you kind of made me realize like it really makes sense, like in all regards, business wise, purpose wise, everything. So
Yeah. So you were interested in the opportunity already. You started to look for information and then you found us.
exactly. Yep.
Yeah. That's awesome. And so what did you learn from us? What did we help you do?
Yeah, so the biggest thing that you guys did is like basically when you join like when I join like any mastermind or something like that, like a good mastermind, it's gonna help you like expand your perspective of what's possible. So like if we're going through something or we're seeing like a hurdle or a problem, like immediately I'll think like, oh, Andrew's we got it figured out, or Andrew probably has a pretty good answer to this, or like somebody in the community like has something. So that's like the biggest thing. And then also obviously just giving you like a basic roadmap of what to do. And we go after a tad bit different of clientele. However, like we heard your plan, and it was really easy to just be like, hey, like, this plan's working with these clients. Let's just, what Andrew was talking about was just calling everybody and emailing everybody. Let's just shift it over to this clientele. So it's super easy. It's still like a roadmap and stuff. And that's what we got from the program.
And then where are you at now in total number of properties and beds full?
Uh,
I can
there you
take
go.
this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, man, when we started, like, we had the houses, and so the question is how do we fill it? And, using obviously the roadmap that Sober Living Riches provided, it's all about the numbers, and so got a KPI going and started calling as many people as I could, IOPs, PHPs, sober livings, rehabs, all the way down to detox. I mean, you call every single person. Yeah, man, it just kind of took off from there. And we found one key player in the industry who just started sending us clients and saw our house, trusted us, and was like, all right, here you go. And then next thing you know, our house was full.
That's awesome. So like almost
Sweet.
immediately.
Yeah, yeah.
Immediately, yeah. Like in 1 week, I think it was like a week ago. Not it was last week. We did like 4 clients that week. Cash pay clients. So
That's awesome.
Exactly. So we almost we have 2 more beds to go in our first house. And then we've got another house that's like ready to go that I anticipate will probably be full by the end of next month or by the middle of next month. Because we started filling up like beds and stuff. We were ready to go like just after Christmas. So everybody that we have now like came like I think the first person was like the 27th of December. Um, so, but yeah, and then I have another one under contract that I'm planning on, purchasing and stuff. It'd make a great flip, but I'm wanting to basically shift everything over and keep everything now, for sober livings. And yeah, so we've got basically like 3 in the pipeline that are probably going to be filled by March, and our goal is we want to stay really close to the need. So don't grow just to grow, but stay close to the need. But we would love to, have 10 to 12 by the end of the year and then just keep expanding in Ohio. So like, if when Columbus is kind of, we kind of reach a point where I don't know if you can reach a point where you meet the entire need because the need's so great. Uh, but if we reach a point, go to the next city with the biggest need and then just follow the need where it is, meet it, and change the game in the Midwest because sober livings are not run the best over here. I would say it's not like it's not as good as California, Texas, and Florida, like some of these hub spots for recovery. So
Since working with us, what does your life look like now? What does your business look like now?
yeah, it's good. I mean, there's still like a ways to go in terms of like filling the houses that we have and stuff, but like basically like the projections and stuff, like this is gonna be this is taking off the ground a lot faster, let's just say, than when I first started like wholesaling and flipping. Now a lot goes into it. Blaine here, he's my partner, and then we have another one too. His name's Robbie. It's 3 guys going at it instead of one. That's one thing. I think I bring a lot of perspective into this from like just business and just like mindset. Like we could just do this more and stuff because I've done X, Y, and Z the past 3 years. We could do this pretty easily. That's another. And then, Blaine and Robbie, what they bring to the table is just immense with their work ethic and Blaine's knowledge of just recovery and stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, I anticipate this, like I said, like I think it's very possible to have like 10 to 12 houses by the end of the year and have this be, a 7-figure company, a little after a year. So, which is pretty cool.
So in coming into the Sober Living Riches group, like what were the highlights so far of being a part of it?
I think I personally love how I think like you and then like other people in the community are just like stepping up in terms of just providing value. So for example, like you guys are like right when we got in, like you guys added a licensing call and stuff, like something that is like, it's like a whole other business. Like you charge completely separate for, I don't know if you're planning on doing that in the future, but you could do that. And like you guys are just like one to add it, provide value and what people are asking and stuff. So that was huge. That caught my eye a ton.
and another thing I would say is the systems and structures that you guys map out. Because you can bring in the client, but if your facility doesn't have integrity and systems that will hold, I mean, that's a disaster with the clientele that we're dealing with. And so you guys providing those systems that we can just implement right away without even thinking about it, and they're like surefire, it's definitely valuable.
If someone was on the fence about working with us, what would you tell them?
You just got to make the jump for sure. Just do it and come ready to work too. Honestly, it's not like the information or anything like that, which is what anyone doubts coming into like a mastermind. It's definitely not the information with this one. It's definitely not the heart of the operator of the mastermind in this one. It's about you just pulling the trigger and getting on the other side of fear to change your life, and letting this program just help you out because it will if you're ready to put in the work.
Yeah, you got to put in the work for sure.
Well, thank you guys. All right. Well, you guys have an awesome day. Thank you so much for jumping on with me.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. I'll
Thank
see you.
I'll see ya.
Cool stuff.